When it comes to the economic problems of Nigeria, infrastructure challenges, especially with regards to power, really stands out, and that being targeted by the respective election candidates that are currently, on platform. Where does it rank on the agenda, and does that correlate with the attention it's receiving in reality?
I think on the agenda, it is the most important topic today for all the candidates because of the importance everyone attaches to power and its development in Nigeria. How it ranks for them, it's a priority position because for any leader to lead a country like Nigeria with the people and its inherent problems in the power sector, this must be dealt with forthwith. I think from what I've seen so far from all the candidates, the focus for them is to make sure there are deliverables that are attached to every position they're trying to get to.
What kind of progress have you been seeing made so far? Because we've got, when it comes to President Goodluck Jonathan, we're looking at an agenda for transformation. That's the title of his manifesto, the PPP promising to consolidate, his administration's achievements for the economy, particularly ensuring that the country attains stable power supply. So what's your assessment of the strides he's made so far?
If the commitment from the government's point, President Goodluck has made a commitment, they are going to privatize. Now, from my assessment, once privatization kicks in, I think that will actually fuel the growth in that industry.
When are you anticipating that it would kick in? Because, of course, PPPs is something that's been talked about for a very long time.
The framework is there. I think the EOIs, the expression of interest, has all been put in to the Bureau of Public Enterprise. The interest has been phenomenal. As I understand it, over 330 expressions in all the successor companies. I think with the PPP variation that this government is pushing, the PDP government of President Goodluck, if it is focused on and delivered on time, I think government somehow will get the returns they're looking for in delivering power to the people, because it becomes a private sector focused investment.
Let's take a look at your role within this space then. I mean, what kind of participation are you seeing? What role are you playing in terms of getting things on track?
Shoreline, as an example, we're bidding for one of the districts, the distribution companies. We're strong in power generation. We're building another power plant today. More on the captive side, because we're working our structures in making sure that the most important thing in driving any investment is payments. You've got to guarantee some way how you will recoup your investment. This is being worked on. I think the government has done something fantastic. By creating, the central bank has created a power fund in guaranteeing funding at 7% to power projects. Now, that's a game changer for anyone.
Of course, payments on the one hand, but you're still having to deal with the constraint that manifests itself in the lack of a transmission system, even if the megawatts requirement could be produced.
What I understand and what I know for a fact today is this. Once the privatization is kicked in of this PHC and successor companies, of the distribution and the generation companies, government's focus will be reinforcing the transmission backbone all around the country. In as much as we could transmit what is being generated effectively, I think the difference will be felt in the system. Right now, if there's not enough power generated, there's no point reinforcing the transmission network because you don't have the power to transmit anyway, right? So if everything works hand in hand and it fuses together, the deliverables will be met.
And that whether it be the PDP under President Goodluck Jonathan, the Congress for Progressive Change, or the Action Congress of Nigeria?
Irrespective, one thing is very clear by all the competitors running for office in Nigeria. Power and delivering power infrastructure to the Nigerian people, the Nigerian masses, and to Nigerian business is of prime importance. And the reality is, if and when that is done, is the only time we could actually get to the bottom of where Nigeria's greatness can be.
So how do you respond to criticisms that government has spent huge sums of money on power supply? The country's spent a record, for progress in that area, but lack of fiscal discipline is actually a problem.
The focus has always been this. There's been a lot of hearsay. There's been a lot of talk about the amount or the quantum of money spent. Now, it's not in my place to say this is how much was spent because I don't know. But one thing is important. in as much as the government understands and realizes its position in creating the enabling environment for private sector participation, in creating the right framework for investors to participate in the power sector, and also government understands the importance of proper power sector reforms, it will energize the Nigerian power sector. Vis-a-vis the amount of money spent so far, I think there's still, the NIPP is still building a lot of power plants. I don't think government in itself realized the depth of the problem in the power sector in Nigeria when in 1999 they decided to jump into it to resolve it.
And now almost an awakening that's happening.
That's exactly what it is, because I'll give you an example. Some of the NIPP projects were built, but there's no gas to fire it.
Yeah.
Again, this is a problem that was not envisaged. So I realize one thing is clear. If government has that focused position in trying to make sure that is a deliverable as part of the manifesto, then they will be held accountable to it. That's what it is.
On that note, let's leave it there, Kola. Thanks so much for your time this afternoon.